Hey guys, what's up? It's Johnny here and welcome to another episode of The SIC Show. And as always, I'm super pumped to be here. I'm here with my main man B. How are you, buddy?
I'm feeling monochrome today. Monotone.
As you can probably tell, this week on the show, we're going to talk all about black and white and how to create the best black and white images. But first, in the share, we're going to tell you about the awesome assignment we just finished in the Share, Inspire, Create Lounge.
Yeah, and then Johnny's going to inspire you, and I'm going to inspire you with two amazing black and white images. And then Johnny's going to talk all about split toning and how to do it properly.
Yeah, awesome. Let's get into it, man.
The SIC Show. ShareInspireCreate.com. Share.
All right, buddy, the black and white assignment. I wanted to share with you guys, we just completed the black and white assignment for the SIC Lounge, our Share, Inspire, Create Lounge community, goodness,
awesome community.
Love. But we just want to share with you quickly, I've got a screencast running here. Let's jump over and look at all these amazing images here, B.
Yeah, so hey guys, just so you know, so every month in the SIC Lounge, we have an assignment and actually get the community members to choose what the assignment is. Right now, we actually got a little vote up there. We've got three different topics and everyone votes and then we choose one and we do that for the month.
Hey, by the way, what did you vote for?
I voted for rule of thirds and helping out.
You can vote twice?
Yes.
Really? I'm going to go and vote
I'm
going to go and vote for composition. I didn't know that.
There we go.
I'm going to vote again.
Cool. All right.
Epic, man. All right, let's jump over to the screencast. Okay, so you can see, guys, look at the amazing... Oh, I love that one of the tape. Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
By David.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? It's so inspirational going here and
Metallic
looking at
tape.
these images. Look at that and the way that light falls across it. Absolutely amazing. Epic work,
And
David.
the way he's added a toning to the black and white image.
I love it. Yeah, it makes it look a little bit older too,
Yeah.
doesn't it? That yellowy toning. So amazing stuff here. In this cat by Jane.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, such a contrasty image. This is like a Brent Mail edit. You know, very high contrast.
I love it. And Jane was actually had a thread in there about printing this image. She's taken it to a couple of printers. It's come out really washed out. She's wondering what's wrong. So a lot of the community members put in their comments. Actually, we've even got a printer. A guy from South Africa who owns a print lab has also put his comments in there.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's really
man.
interesting, eh?
Epic, yeah.
Anyway,
it's amazing the people's background, the people in the lounge. There's always someone to help.
Yeah.
Epic.
My motherland. South Africa.
Yeah. I think this was an interesting capture too from David. You know, it's one of those candid moments. Kids are very hard, as you know. You've done a lot of kid photography.
Yeah.
But I just love this image. You know, out of focus. It's a nice environmental portrait. The mother sort of over the top framing and a slight bit of toning. And I think it's a lovely little candid moment. Nailed the focus.
Yeah, and he got down really low to the kids' eye level or lower, and that's the tip for when you're photographing kids. Get to their level always. Don't shoot down.
Get down low and go. I don't know why I said that.
I don't know. Can we trademark that or copyright it?
No, actually they've used it before. I think it's like a evacuation fire thingy.
Oh, right, okay.
An awesome image here from Keith, this dandelion. Oh, Keith, you nailed this, man. You know what I love about this image? The focus is on the seed heads right in the middle. And it's just, I love the softness of the leaves that come out to the end. And I love the crop and the fact that it's so contrasting. The back is just black and it just, awesome.
And I said to Keith, I want this one. I'm going to buy it from him. Keith, send me the image. We'll print it out. I'll buy it from you. I want this on my wall.
Yeah,
Looks
epic.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's epic, man. Love it. Cool. I've got to show Maddie's. Maddie's is, I think it's another dandelion. I'm not too sure. I don't know what sort of flower it is.
Okay.
But I love this.
Yes.
I love the color version he showed earlier in the lounge, but I love the fact, it's just looking into the soft petals and the what's in focus is the little stems and each little pocket. It's such an abstract. Look, man, I said to Maddie, I said, frame it, print it, big, put it on your wall and be proud, bro, because it's epic. I love it, man.
I love abstract images, especially, black and whites really pull out the toning of the image, and that's what I love about it. It's just, there's no color to distract you. So
look at this. Look at this image here from Peter. Actually, I'm going to click on it so we can go full screen and see it here. But it's a beautiful image of the moon. He zoomed right in, and what I told him, I said, Pete, I love the fact that it's got that beautiful light falling off on the right-hand side of the image. It just adds to the feel of the moon and brings out that texture down that side. And it's another great image.
Love it. And what do you shoot that on? A 600 mil?
Something bulk with a converter, like a 2 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was way
I think,
out.
Peter, I think you need to
actually...
you need to put something into the lounge on how you actually do this. Because I'd like to photograph something like that.
Yeah,
but amazing. I don't have a 600mm lens, but maybe I can use my 400 with something on the back.
With 4 2x converters.
Yeah, or telescopes. Some people use telescopes.
Yeah, they do.
And somehow mount their camera on it. Yeah.
Telescope. Yeah, so... Awesome. So there you go, guys. Very, very cool. We just wanted to share with you what's been going on in the lounge. And man, the assignments, actually, it's one of the fun parts. I love it. And then at the end of each month, we do a critique, don't we, mate? We
live critique.
Yeah, we're doing a Google Hangout. We pick the images we've got something to say, and we give the feedback. And it's great.
People from the lounge can jump in and actually watch it. And then we take the recording and we put it back into the lounge. So if you missed it for some reason, if you're not on the right time zone somewhere in the world and it's like 3 a.m. for you, you can always jump back in and watch it later.
Cool, man. So that's it.
Awesome.
Inspire.
All right, Brent, inspire us with this black and white you've got here.
All right, guys. So this black and white is one of the first images I took in my makeshift studio. So I was just getting into photography. I'd made myself a professional. I'd basically, retitled myself as a professional photographer. I had a home studio, so basically just in the living room, I'd move the couch and everything, have 2 lights, and I think I only have 1 light at this stage. And I got this guy, he's a boxer, a local boxer, quite a mean-looking dude. He's a surfer too, and he's going for a contest. He was training for a contest, and I got him and his buddy, his sparring partner, to come into my studio and box. And I just went around. I put the light nice up high, looking down on them, and I just got them to box each other and him to punch, towards me. And I captured this image, and I really loved it because it's, I don't know, there's something about it that's just really mean looking. You can see the expression on his face, and what you can see of it is, he's really mean looking. He's got this big tattoo on his chest of looks like a devil. You can just see the eyes, and then one of his fists is actually silhouetted against his chest, and then you can see these other fists that's wrapped up. So this just like it's a fearful or a mean or angry kind of image, and that's what I love about it. It just and black and white just totally makes it for me.
Yeah, and it's real contrasty too, isn't it? I mean, the thing I love about it is it's not the standard mean image. It's not the standard, and you can't see bits of his face, and it's really, and I think that's what adds to it for me. Actually, you know what? For this portrait, it's not his face that stands out to me. That devil is the point of interest for me.
Oh, yeah.
That devil is definitely the point of interest. And I think that's why it appeals to me so much, because normally when you're shooting portraits, it's all about the face and the features and the expression and what's going on. But for me, it's actually the devil that's the point of interest. And I love that, mate. I think that's what really makes it stand out to me.
And also for me, it's what you can't see that actually brings out the mystery of this image. Everything doesn't have to be perfectly lit every time.
Yep.
There's a lot of black in there. Actually, it's mostly black. There's just a little bit of light and that actually tells the story. So you see the devil and you see the fist that's about to come and smack you. So you're going to get a devil punch, man.
Cool, man. Cool.
So, buddy, inspire us with your black and white image.
Yeah, so mine's another really high contrast image. It's just the way it ended up. Look, this is actually a shell, and what's happened to this shell, it's been washed around on the rocks, Brent, and all the outside has cracked off, and it's left the skeleton of the shell on the inside, okay? So it was one of those afternoons where I went out to shoot sunset, and sunset, I could tell, it was not many clouds, it wasn't going to happen, so I went looking around to find a detail, and I just happened to stumble across, and this is something when you go out for your photography, guys, is keep your eyes open, look around, because even though there isn't an amazing sunset or something, something awesome going on in front of you, there's always something to photograph, always something when you're out there, as a landscape photographer.
And sometimes you actually have to look the opposite way of where the sunset is setting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Often it's the light shows behind you.
Yeah, so that's another good point too. When you're out and you're scouting and you look for the sun direction, you go, yep, that's where I'm going to shoot in the sun, and you get out there and the clouds are off to in the southern hemisphere, you had sunset, the sun's setting in the west, and the clouds are off to the...
Also in the northern hemisphere, sunset's in the west.
Oh, well, anyway. On different planets, it sets different. Yeah. But anyway, it's anyway, the clouds are in the east, is what I meant to say on sunset, and the sun's setting in the west.
I think in the northern hemisphere also.
Oh, hang on, bro.
I think in the northern hemisphere, the clouds are also in the east.
Stop the show. Copy.
All right. We'll continue.
All right, we'll continue. Anyway, and the sun's setting at one side and the clouds are the opposite side. Take a good look at the opposite side. Yeah, not only is it easier to photograph because the dynamic range isn't as strong looking straight into the sun, and you can usually capture everything in one shot, foreground all the way to the background. It's just as pretty, man.
Yeah.
You know, those tones you get looking away from the sun are often gorgeous.
Totally.
Gorgeous.
Right.
So
let's jump back into your black and white.
Back into my black and white. Now, the sun wasn't setting yet. Okay. No, okay. So what this is, I found a little pebble that's about yay big, about this sort of size, you know, and it was just black. And I had my water bottle, so I put the pebble down on a rock. I got my water bottle, wet the pebble, and the shell. So that's given me that little reflection in the foreground, okay? And then I've lined the shell up, and I've got down to the level of the shell. So it's up on like a little rock ledge, but I'm photographing with my macro lens, 105 macro lens, like directly at the
There we go.
directly at the shell.
Yeah.
So that's the setup. So I did set this up, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, these were just laying randomly around the rocks. I put them back where I found them. You know, it's not like I ripped out a tree and moved a twig, and I'd never recommend, harming nature or moving things around that shouldn't be moved around, but it's okay to set things up, leaves and different stuff. So anyway, it was a setup shot, and you can see what I've ended up with. It's actually front lit, but it was really, actually the day I went out.
Hold on, so it was facing west.
I don't know which way it was facing. But you can see it's pretty much lit from the front.
Okay,
you know?
yeah.
And but I also, just to give it a bit of depth, I just wanted to get those front bits of the spines in focus. So you can see there's sort of 4 little areas and then one up there.
Yep.
So that's the bit that sort of I wanted in focus. But I wanted to try and get a shadow in the foreground just to add that extra bit of interest. So hence the water. Okay, so I remember this day. It actually, I'll take it back. It was a big cloudy day, and there was no break in the clouds, and it was just a big grey afternoon.
So you're changing your story.
Yeah, I am changing my story. Yeah, I remember now because I didn't actually diffuse any of the light over this, so that's just all natural light falling on it. So it was a bit softer. Yeah, I remember now.
I mean, I love that shadow. That makes it for me.
Yeah.
Or the reflection, I should say.
Yeah, the reflection in the foreground.
Yeah.
So I suppose that the thing, 2 things about this image that always remind me is like, always have a good look around. It's not always about the giant sunset when you're out doing your landscape photography. And don't be afraid to set things up. If it's not harming nature, set it up and create something of your own. Because it's part of the process. It's part of being the artist, is putting things where you want it. So to be honest, with the post-processing in this, the rim you can see is actually the edge of the stone. Okay. But I've darkened down that outside. It was light, around that outside. Okay. And I thought about that when I was shooting it. I thought, I think it's going to pull too much away from the subject. So I've darkened that whole area around the outside in post. Cool. So anyway, something interesting, Bo.
Inspiring, man. Love that image. Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks for giving us the tips. And also the water. I love the tip about the water. Wet things, because it really does,
makes a big difference, eh?
Yeah,
it does when you wet things, especially with macro. Oh, man. It's really good. So.
I remember when we were in New Zealand with Jane Verena, we were photographing those mushrooms.
Oh, those fairy tale mushrooms.
We're taking a water bottle that we're supposed to drink, but it's freezing cold in the morning, and just dripping it onto the mushroom.
Just a fast shutter speed and freezing those drops dropping off the mushroom. Yeah.
Awesome.
Happy, bro. Awesome, man.
Create.
All right, guys, I've got a little tip for you in Lightroom, and it's the split toning panel. Not a lot of people use it or know about it, and it's a little bit confusing what the sliders are actually named. And I'm going to walk you through it now. It's a really fun thing for toning what a base split toning does. You get to choose a color value for the highlights and a color value for the shadows. Okay, so a standard color value that a lot of people use will be yellowy highlight, yellowy colored and bluey colored.
So cool shadows,
cool
and
shadows
warm highlights.
And warm highlights. That's a standard sort of split tone that you'll see, and that's the one we'll do today. But you can play around and use other colors if you want. But you just got to remember, it's a real subtle thing. It's not a big thing, and it's really fun when you start toning your black and white images. You can create some really lovely moods. Classic example is like snow-capped mountains, and you add that little bit of a blue tone and gives you that cold feeling, Like I've got a lovely image from New Zealand that I can just pop straight into my head when I talk about that, So toning your image.
Was it Mount Cook?
I can't remember. Okay. It was one of the mountains with Mount snow-covered. I can't remember. Sorry, but so toning your black and white images is really fun. So let's jump into the screencast. So I want to explain split toning. It's built straight into Lightroom, and it's really fun to use.
Yeah.
So I've got my image here.
And by the way, guys, Johnny's using the Wacom tablet.
The Wacom. This is the Intuos Pro Small.
Okay.
So I like the small. It's the same footprint as my laptop, which is great. It means it fits in the laptop bag with this one. So if you go to the medium, it's about the same as a 15-inch laptop.
Right.
But you know, the thing is, I've got a 15-inch at work, and here's a bonus tip. I've got a 15-inch at work, but I only use about half the surface. Because it's too big, like you know, and you would never.
The screen.
You would never. No, you don't go off the screen, but you've got to move your arm too far to cover the whole screen.
Yeah.
So, man, I love the small. The small is like the perfect size for me. Yeah. So anyway, let's jump into this. Sorry, always a side note, isn't there? Yeah. Anyway, at least there's no north, south, east, and west in this one. That's good. All right, so I'm in the development.
There's north.
Really?
The camera.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hi, North. Anyway, let's get into this. All right, over to the screencast. Let's get into it.
Okay.
All right, guys. So I'm in the develop module. Doesn't matter which version of Lightroom you've got. Jump in the develop module. It'll be there. If you don't see split toning, right-click on this grey area here. Right-click in here and turn it on. So it may be that it's been unticked for some reason. So if you don't see it in your list in the panels, that's where it'll be. All right, so the first thing you can see, I'll just walk you through these different sliders here. It's a little bit confusing, but let's do it. So the first thing here, if we click on this panel, it's going to bring up a color palette, and we can select the color that we want to use for the highlights, okay? The next thing, that's just the slider. You can move through the color palette. But saturation is actually the amount of that tone will show up in the shadow. So it'll show in the highlights rather. So I'll show you in a minute. So saturation is like the intensity of the color in the highlights.
Okay.
So the balance is exactly what it says. It's the balance between the color of the highlights and the color of the shadows. That's what balance does. So sometimes you might want to make it feel a little bit cooler. Yeah. Sometimes you might want to make it feel a little bit warmer, or whatever tones you choose to the highlights or the shadow valley. That's what balance does. Okay. And the same with the shadow side as well. So let's jump in here. Now, I want to pick something, don't worry about this, it's like, what is he doing? It's freaking out. But I'm just going to pick something a bit yellowy, okay? So then I'm going to choose a blue value, okay? And you might be thinking, where is he going with this? And you know what? I've probably overexposed that bit there. I'm just going to pull those highlights back just a touch there.
Okay.
All right, back into split toning. All right, so I've chose my two color values that I'm going to go with. And of course, you can go back in and remove these around and go crazy. But yeah, we're not going to do that. So blue. And obviously that's way too over the top. Yeah. Way too over the top. So I'm going to pull these right back. Okay, I just want to make this subtle toning in here, you know. Yeah. And I'm going to pull this back to something like that. So you may think, well, it doesn't look like it's done too much, but you turn it off and on, and look at that toning. You can definitely see it. But I actually think the blue is a bit too dominant now. Yeah. So I'm going to play with the balance. I'm going to pull this towards the slider side and see it's intensifying those yellows on the highlights there. So if I move that right up, it's moving everything yellow and everything blue. Right. Okay. So it's moving towards that side, but I think the blue is maybe just a little bit too blue. Yeah. So somewhere there. So I've taken the image from a flat monochrome and added just the color. It's really nice. It's fun playing with the highlights and the shadows, adding those different colored tints. It gives you a whole new look in your images. Totally. It's a really cool tool, but like I said, it can be a little confusing when you first look. Oh, what hue? What? Yeah. You know, the sliders don't seem to be named exactly what they do. So basically, the workflow is you choose a color for your highlights, you choose a color for your shadows. You adjust the intensity, which is the saturation slider on each value, and then you choose a balance between them. And that gives you that nice little tone in your black and white images, man.
Well, I've learned something new. Yeah. That's great.
It's really fun, man. Split tone's really fun. I think it's been around for a while as a technique, but you know, if you've never tried it, jump in and have a go, because I think it's awesome.
And actually, remember when I was interviewing Jaime from Texas, and he does all the model photography, and we actually got one of the SIC shows, Johnny and I interviewed him. He does exactly that. He does I think he warms the highlights and cools the shadows, or maybe he does the opposite. He warms the shadows and cools the highlights.
Yeah, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you're the artist in the end. When you're getting down to these minor little changes like this, right at the end, this is where your what am I thinking, man?
Creative.
Yeah, your creative juices can come out and create something that's yours. You know, this is the final touches that make that image yours. You know, that's it. Cool, man.
Well, thanks, Johnny. And
man.
Yeah, so it's been
another huge show.
Yeah, epic show, as Johnny says.
Don't ask me about direction, because I'm totally confused.
No.
Where's the camera?
I don't know. Yeah, so guys, you know, we've gone through the assignments, you know, the black and white one that we've just done recently. And thank you everyone that's in the Share, Inspire, Create Lounge for, you know, putting your images in and commenting on everyone else's images. It's awesome. We love it.
Getting involved. It's the only way moving forward is getting involved with a community that's there to support you and help you out, isn't it, buddy?
And that's how you learn, by actually commenting on other people's images. You actually learn more about their images and about yours.
Yeah, breaking images down that you or the things you like about an image, things you dislike about an image that you would have done different. It's the best way to learn. Yeah. It really is the most epic way.
No, for sure. And then Johnny's inspired us with an amazing shell image and told us how he photographed it. And
your awesome boxer image, man. Yeah, it makes me want to get out to the gym.
Yeah.
I might get a devil tattoo. Eh?
No,
I'm joking. I've got tattoo. I've got enough. Apparently, I'm done with tattoos.
Oh, really?
I've been told. Yeah. By the boss.
I'm scared of needles. I'm not going anywhere.
Needles. Anyway, I've got a tattoo story. Another day.
Yeah.
So anyway, man, it's been epic, and that split toning, guys, check it out. I mean, it's built straight into Lightroom, and it's awesome. So how do you actually, before we finish, how do you do your black and white conversions?
I use the Nick
Silver FX. Silver FX. I mean, Silver FX is a great tool for creating black and white. I absolutely love it, and all the different toning in there, you can get really, really creative, and the targeted adjustments are awesome. But guys, you don't need to run a plugin. I mean, it's built right into Photoshop. It's built right into Lightroom. If you have those tools, you can still create great black and whites. You know, cool,
exactly.
Man.
Awesome, guys. Well, we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, see you guys. Bye.
To find out more, go to shareinspirecreate.com.